So, because it is cold, it is windy, we are going to walk in, but I just thought that view was pretty nice. This is the venue we're playing in, so we're going to have a look inside in a second. The play starts in just under an hour. We need to write a system card out, find out what the alerting regulations are, but it is Swiss match points. It's not VP. We'll play 4 board rounds against another pair, and then we move based on Swiss assignments. So, never played anything like that before. Oh, that's nice. So we'll see how that goes. So we need to wander around, find some play. But we'll be back in a second with the playing venue, and then we'll be here with some hands like you know and love. So this is the play area. We can see how busy it's going to be if all these tables are filled. We'll span around the room. There's about 120 pairs here. There's Matt going around there. And weirdly, I recognise about, I don't know, a fifth of the field, given this is in Iceland and there's a lot of Icelandic names on there. There's quite a few people from Britain come over and quite a few people from America come over who we recognise. So, seen a few other Discord people. We've seen Raj Shuri, and for those of you who are in Discord, we've got a Bean Cup competition this weekend, and a lot of us are going to have to not only play in this, but play that on BBO online as well. So we'll do that. Looks like there's going to be some Viewgraph. So it's not going to be us, we're sat in the window there, that's our table there. So we're going to have a nice view as we're playing. We're north-south for this evening. And if there's not enough content from this evening, I'll be doing like a 2-day video here. So you can see here, looks all very official. You can see here's a list of all the names and all the people there. You've got Marusha there, for the first time I saw. And you've got Mike Bell somewhere there. Zach Grossack and Ewan are up there. And we're there somewhere, table 23 with pair 45. So that's us there. Steve Rain and Matt Brown. Well, Matt Brown and Steve Rainers have said, so we don't agree with that. We need to swap those names around. One thing I will say is that, I mean, it's just such a nice view. You can see, I mean, tomorrow when there's going to be light, looks like that goes out into the dock or something like that. But the tables are huge. They put 2 sort of normal tables together, and this is the biggest bridge table I've played on. So if you've got poor sight, this might be an issue for you. I don't know how. There's no felt or anything. I don't know whether they're going to be slide on there, so we'll see that. We'll see if that's an issue. But it's starting to fill up. Play starts in about 45 minutes or so. So we've had fish and chips, and we're just waiting. We're just chatting to a few people. I've seen Simon Cope. There's Gavin Woolpert here, there, and lots of people filling in. So we're going to wait for Ewan and Zach to arrive and say hi to them. And then we're going to sit down and do our best, and it's a 3-session event. And we probably, because it's Swiss, we might be moving in between rounds. So who knows whether I can keep my coat on the back of my chair or not, or whether I need to go and put it up on the coat rack over there. So it looks like a pretty nice place, and we'll be ready to start soon. I've seen so many people I know already. We're just about to start. People are taking their seats. So it's filling up. There's about 160 pairs or something like that. 160 pairs, so we've got 80 tables. Feels like a really big event, and you don't get many of them. I mean, outside the Nationals recently, I haven't been to any events this size in the UK for quite a while. This is really good. There's a lot of people from America have flown over, and there's a lot of people from Europe have flown over, and there's so many people from the UK that I know. I could sit there reading names out. I just met Simon Creasy, haven't seen him in years. So that's really good. Mike Bell's here, Stefano Benner here, David Gold's here, Marusha's here, Steve Root's here, Jonathan Harris is here. So if you're a UK player and you want to come to something like this, then do so. There'll be people you know. So we are about to start. Hopefully, I mean, it's a weird Swiss movement, so we're going to see what happens. But we've got we are playing. The whole room is playing boards 1 to 4 first, I think, and then we're going to move based on scores. So who knows? And then there's some media stuff going on there. So they're doing some sort of interviews for maybe news channels or something like that. So who knows what's going on? I'm trying to stop my microphone so it doesn't pop in the view. Yeah, so the next time you see me, I'll be with a hand that I've probably misplayed. I'll see you shortly. So we've just finished first round. We believe it's barometer scoring, so we know where we'll be if we look at the scoreboards or something like that. But it's done with a round in arrears, so our opponents are just moving 1 table, and then after that, we'll basically be paired in round 3 by the results of round 1. So you pick up this hand here. You've got Singleton 9, King 4th, Ace 10, Ace 9, 6, Queen 10 Doubleton, and everyone's vulnerable. And you've already got 3 good boards, well 2 good boards anyway, and they go pass on your right. So your second seat, do you open 2 diamonds? You can play 2 diamonds weak. I decided not to for many reasons. One, my suit's a bit empty, ace 9 6th, and 2, I've got 4 hearts. And second seat vulnerable is one of the situations where you shouldn't really be preempting partner. That's the worst. That's the seat where you need the best preempts, and there are flaws with this preempt. So I decided to pass, and it goes past to Matt in 4th seat, and Matt opens a spade, pass to me. So after a 4th seat 1 spade, what are your options? Well, I think you've got 2 options. You can either bid 1 no trump, which says it's not forcing from a passed hand, and Matt can pass it most of the time. So most of Matt's weak no trumps will pass it. Or you can bid a non-forcing 2 diamonds, but that's encouraging. It's going to be like 9 to 11 with 5 diamonds, because you can't really have 6 very often, because you could have opened 2 diamonds. So if you've got 6 diamonds, it's just a freak thing. So I bid 2 diamonds away in PPP. Matt put his hand down, and look what contract do you want to be in on the hand. So I ended up making 10. I managed to play a club to the queen. They led the heart at trick 1, so they take they give me tempo. To not only rough a heart, but also to get to dummy to play a club to the queen and unblock everything. So I was able to just concede 1 heart, 1 club, and the ace of spades for 10 tricks, which feels really good. Obviously, there are slightly harsher defences. Maybe trumps at trick 1 might be the right thing to do. Looking at 3 low trumps and ace jack x of spades or something like that. So I don't know whether the jack of hearts. It feels like a normal lead jack 10 x of hearts, but obviously a diamond lead at trick 1 makes it more difficult for me. But more importantly, there'll be people who won't get to play this in 2 diamonds, so that might be a good board for us. So let's see. There's the legend Simon Creasy. I've not seen him in a while. So this is the current score. This is way more advanced than you'd see in Britain or America. So we've just played boards 5 to 8. There's the results of boards 1 to 4 already, because everyone's played the boards. And then here's the current ranking. So this is after 4 boards, so you can see people's percentages after 4 boards. And let's just have a quick look. We had a good first round, and we're there in 8th position. So we're on 74.3%, and it tells us where our table is, 3 north-south. But obviously at the end, the bridge mates tell us where to go as well. So there's a couple of stationary pairs, so we're basically like 8th overall, but that's only after 4. I mean, there's like 80 or 90 boards in the whole event, so this is really good. This is a fantastic way of doing it. Obviously, it's not great if you're a bit lower down. You have to look at your pair here, so you can see what pair you are and where you're sat, but just it has the top people there, so it's nice to see your name there, I guess. You can see people hustling, bustling. If you've never seen a bridge event before, you can see people hustling, bustling here. So this is where we're sat, table 3. And people milling around, moving for their seat. So we're about to sit down. We've kicked someone out for their seat, and we're ready to start round 3. There's Matt. Good Matt. So after 8 we're in second, but we won't be there anymore. So we're about to go to table 1, because again it's a round in arrears. But I picked up King Jack 10, King X, 4 small, King Jack to 4, and I'm 4th to speak. And it goes pass, 1 spade on my right. Now if they opened a heart, I was going to double. I'm filming at the moment. Sorry? Yeah. So if they open a heart, I was going to double. A light double, we decided we can double light, especially when partners pass. You just want to compete at pairs if you can. And they bid a spade, so I passed. I don't have a bid. And it goes 2 spades on my left. Okay, partner hasn't many spades. And there's a pass hand, partner bids 3 clubs. And then they jump to 4 spades on my right. So the colours were green all, so no one's vulnerable. So do I think 4 spades is going off? Do I think 5 clubs is going to be a good sacrifice if it is making, or something like that? So I decided in my head, and I probably should take a bit more time over this, because obviously partner's bid his hand. Me taking a while to think doesn't give anything away, other than maybe they might play it a bit better. Do I double, or do bid 5 clubs, or do I pass? So if 4 spades is making, how cheap is 5 clubs going to be? Well, partner didn't open 3 clubs. So 5 clubs, maybe partners got like ace to 6 or ace queen to 6 or something. They didn't open 3 clubs, they can't be that good. But they're sitting there with a singleton or void spade. It's likely they've got a void if this one's jumping to 4 spades and you've got 11 points. So So 5 clubs, I don't know how cheap it is. It depends how things split. You're probably not going to lose any spades, maybe one at most. You might lose one heart because you've got King X. But you're going to lose several diamonds and maybe a club as well. So I don't know how cheap 5 clubs is going to be. It's going to be probably 3 to 500, and obviously if it's 500, it's bad. So the other thing you've got, 4 spades might not make. Hi, Nikolai. 4 spades might not make. So, and if it's not making, do you double? So I decided in my head, and very quickly, and it was bad. It's my worst bid of the day so far, and we're only 12 boards in, to decide whether to double bid 5 clubs. I didn't conclude that pass is a logical option, and pass is probably the best option. I ended up doubling, and the full hand they make 11. Even if I lead a diamond at trick 1 to threaten a diamond ruff, that's our best thing. But I led a club, and partner can't put the 10 in. I mean, not that it might matter, but partner can't really put the 10 in, which gives me kind of time to just keep playing clubs when I'm in. But it's a bit too late. They led a heart at trick 2, and I just make the king of spades as well. Things just kind of lie well. The queen of diamonds is singleton, so all the diamonds are good. And so that wasn't the best. We conceded 4 spades doubled at once. That'll be a bottom. And the other boards in that round wouldn't carry us back to average for the round. So we were second. We're probably going to drop to like 20th or something, so we'll see. Hi, Barbara. So this is a hand we played on Viewgraph. We got to table 1 and we played on Viewgraph, and we started with a plus 500. My partner's still waiting for the club ruff that I failed to give him, but plus 500 was a huge board anyway. And then we beat them again in another contract, and then this board came up. So we were doing quite well in the match, and obviously this is a typical pairs auction here. You've got people kind of stretching and a tight double at the end, and so just go through the auction. I was sat in the west seat, and it goes pass, and Matt passes and South passes, and I opened a club, and this goes pass, partner bids a heart and comes to me. So partner's bid a heart. I've got a singleton and 3 card support. This is pretty good, and 2 aces, so even if we're in a 4-3 fit, chances are I'm going to be able to rough spades in my hand. So I bid 2 hearts, and this goes pass, and South backs in with 2 spades. So there's where the spades are. Obviously, South's not got a good hand. They've either only got 4 spades, or they've got 5 really bad spades, and they didn't want to ever call 1 heart. But at match points, this looks like a winning bid. It's green all, so even if they go like 2 off, if we're making 2 hearts or 2 clubs or 2 diamonds or 1 N or something like that, they might be scoring a good board here. So I kind of wanted to compete. It feels like they're in a good fit, because Matt hasn't got 5 spades, because he would have responded a spade. And so at best, at worst, they're in an 8 card fit, maybe even more. So I did a takeout double, and given I've limited my hand with 2 hearts, this is, Matt's not going to get overboard. Matt's not going to pass this or bid too much, based on the fact that I could only bid 2 hearts the first time round. And it pretty much shows the sort of shape of my hand. I'm probably going to be 1, 3, 4, 5 a lot of the time. I might be 1, 3, 3, 6 or something like that. But I'm unlikely to have 4 hearts if I'm not bidding 3 hearts myself. So this is most hands with 3 card heart support. And this goes pass. So Matt's either going to have 3 good spades and a maximum pass of the 2 hearts, or partner's going to have 4 spades. So what do you lead? Well, I think there's 2 possible leads here. You could lead a spade and try and cut down on their ruffs, but there's no guarantee you've got the vast majority of the strength. It could be quite even, and it might be right to not pick up partners' trump holding if partners' trump holding is marginal. So, and the other thing is, I've got 2 aces, and I can't lead a second trump. So if a trump lead is the right thing to do, it doesn't look right necessarily to lead a trump knowing I can't play a second one. So all a trump lead will do will pick up partner's trump holding, and partner might not be able to get in enough times to continue trumps if trumps is the best defense. So I decided to lead a heart. I led the 7 of hearts from 3 to the queen, and luckily the timing kind of gave me a bit of information here. So they went up with the ace of hearts very quickly. They didn't consider running it, and partner encouraged. So I know partner's got the jack of hearts at trick 1. They're not giving count here, they're encouraging. That's very important in Matt's defensive thoughts, to give attitude as often as you can. So Declaro wins, and if you have a look at dummy, they found at least an 8 card fit, if not a 9 card fit. And you don't quite know the exact shape of what's going on here. Matt could be 4-4 on the reds. Matt could be something like 4-4-3-2 or something like that. You don't quite know the necessary shape. You don't know whether Declare's got a singleton club. You don't know whether if they play a club up, you're going to go in with the ace or not, or so on. So you're waiting for a bit more information, and more importantly, I've already let through a double game. I don't really want to let through a double part score here. I've definitely got my double. Hopefully Matt's got his pass and we should be able to beat this. So the lead a diamond off dummy. Matt plays the 8, they play the king, and I win the ace. So the 8 of diamonds is a reverse count, or upside down count, so Matt's showing 3 diamonds. So likelihood is Matt is probably going to be 4-4-3-2 or 3-4-3-3 or something like that. Hopefully partner's got only 4 hearts. If they had 5 hearts, it would probably be 3 hearts. So the shapes of both of our hands are pretty well known within a card or two. So the winner ace of diamonds. So I'm thinking of my thoughts now. What do I do? Well, where are our tricks coming from? We're going to make a diamond. We're going to make another diamond. We're going to make the ace of clubs. And if hearts are 4-3-3 around the table, we're going to make a heart. So we need partners to have 2 spade tricks. It feels like we're not going to make any tricks from any other suits outside of spades, just because they're in an 8 or a 9 card fit. And the king of clubs is well placed, and dummy's only got 2 diamonds and so on. So we need 2 spade tricks. What's the best chance for making 2 spade tricks? Well, if partner's got 3 diamonds, what I can try and do is engineer a diamond overruff. If partner's trumps are king jack or ace jack or something like that, partner will be able to overruff dummy with something like the jack or the queen of spades if his trump holding isn't very good outside of that. So for example, he could have ace queen small small or king jack small small, and what you're aiming to do is to try and make the king and the jack, or the 2 honours partner's got, separately. So with this in mind, what I need to do is first of all set a heart trick up. What I don't want to do is be able to play diamond diamond and north to throw a heart away. So we need to set up a heart trick first, and we need to decide where the heart trick's going to be won. So I decided to keep the queen of hearts in my hand, so that I can get in with either the queen of hearts or the diamond to do my plan. And so I played the 10 of hearts. So Declara wins, and Declara is looking to offer diamond in dummy, so Declara plays a second diamond, Matt plays a 2 of diamonds. This should be suit preference here, so Matt should be signalling the queen of clubs. So if Declara at some point plays a club up, we need to decide what we're going to do. Well, my double, I must have the ace of clubs for my double, you'd think, okay? So my diamonds are good. I've got the queen and 9 of diamonds left. The 10 of diamonds is gone. I must have the ace of clubs for my double. If I show up with the queen of hearts and something, I don't think Declara will get it wrong. So even though Matt's showing the queen of clubs, I'm worried that potentially Declara has never been in their hand yet. They might have a singleton club, and I don't know whether to duck or not. I think ducking's probably wrong because Declara's going to get it right, and it's definitely wrong if they sneak a singleton through. So I'm going to go with my plan. I withhold cashing the queen of hearts because what I don't want to do is play the queen of hearts, get Matt in, and Matt try and play the 13th heart in case I can overruff dummy. So I can't overruff dummy, so I didn't dare cash the heart yet. I think it's safe to play another diamond. So I played my 3rd diamond and Declara ruffs. And the reason I'm doing this, obviously, if I was potentially overruffing dummy in hearts, there might be an argument for me to cash the queen of hearts and the ace of clubs before trying to get Matt in, knowing that I can ruff dummy. And because I can't do that, I didn't do that. And so Matt knows that if I have a spade, it's going to be a small one. So we know that Declara's got 1 diamond left, and so they played a spade off dummy, and the jack wins, and I play the 8. And again, we still don't quite know the count of the hand, but when they play a club up, I'd already decided at this point that when they're going to play a club up at some point, I'm going to go with the ace because they're not going to get it wrong. If you think I've opened the bidding and I've doubled, I must have the honours outside of spades. So all Matt's values are going to be in spades, or the majority of them there. So even if that wasn't a singleton, they weren't going to get that wrong, and I couldn't afford to duck in case it was a singleton in case Declara has got 5 spades and I was letting it through. So now I go with my original plan. I'm going to cash the queen of hearts to stop them throwing the heart away. I'm going to play my last diamond. And you can see now from the whole hand that Matt's holding was pretty good. I didn't need to necessarily do this with the diamonds, but obviously without the 9 of spades, this might have been needed. But Declara played quite well from this point. So we've got 9 of diamonds. They ruff with a 10. The 10 of spades is actually a bit of a bad card for dummy to have from our point of view, because it enabled Declara to get away with only losing 2 trumps. So Matt was able to overruff with the queen, and Matt did a good thing. He played the jack of hearts. Now if Declara ruffs in the north hand, Matt will make 2 more trump tricks. So Declara did well. They ruffed in the south hand, throwing a club. They were able to play a club to dummy to the king and queen, and then they're in dummy. Effectively, they're going to make the king of spades en passant. They're just going to play one towards the king of spades, and Matt can't do anything. So the good news is we beat it by one trick. The bad news is we didn't beat it by any more. And I'll show you the full hand. So we make the ace of spades. The full hand is what you can see here, and you can see that De Clare has made a very pairsy bid of 2 spades. What they're trying to do is push us to 3 hearts. Maybe 3 hearts goes off, or they're trying to go for 50 or 100 when we can't find a double. For example, if our spades are split 3-2 or something like that, maybe if I had 3 spades and Matt had 2, I've got too many spades to make a take-out double, and Matt's too weak to make a take-out double, so they would have got away with it, and they would have gone for maybe 50 or 100. So obviously, it was just a good all-round pairs bid. This was on Viewgraph. I watched Viewgraph later in the day, and some of the people chatting on Viewgraph were going, "What's Steve doing? What's Steve doing?" As if, you know, but my defence in the whole hand, they said, "Why is he flying with ace of clubs? Why is he not giving them a guess? Why isn't he leading a spade at trick 1?" But you'll notice that people, obviously, they can see double dummy. We can't beat it by more than a trick, whatever I lead. I'll lead a diamond, I'll let it through. So very careful not to try and let it make. Some people had let it make, and you've got to be very careful when you can see the whole hand. Obviously, I'm defending in such a way that I don't know how good Matt's spades are. I don't know how many he's got or how good they are. They're actually really good. I don't expect them to be as good as that. So I'm spending the whole hand panicked that this might make if I do the wrong thing. So I think if you are watching Viewgraph in the future and you're watching that, you've got to bear in mind that all 4 players can only see their own hand and dummy. So be a bit more generous in your feedback, because I think Ewan had the same thing. Later in the day, I think Ewan made something that double dummy is a mistake, and you can see here my things weren't mistakes, but people were still messing up with me, so got a bit annoyed about that. I think some people just need to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially people who could watch the stream in the future. So that was an interesting hand. Got us a good board. We got about 70% for the board, because just getting a plus score our way was good, and plus 100 scored better than those people making plus 50, so we'll take it.
So we're done for the day. We had a really bad 6th round, and good play the opponents, unlucky, that sort of thing. And then I did a big punt. I let through 13 in 6th end, but 6th end making was always going to be bad anyway. Going into that round, we were like off the leaderboard. We were like, let's have a quick look. We were 24th. I mean, out of 160 odds, that's okay. And then we had a good last round. We finished with 2 good boards at the end of the last round. So we're probably top 20. We'll come back tomorrow. And do the best we can. So this is probably going to be a 2-part video, as in I'm going to just do all the pairs on one day. It might be slightly longer than normal, so we'll see how much content I get tomorrow and whether I can split it, but there might be a break in the play at some point. There's an interesting call on the end. Our opponents had the following hand. They had ace, queen, jack of spades. They had void heart and ace, queen, 10 to 7 diamonds and 3 low clubs. You hear your partner open a 13 to 15 no trump. That's good. You've got a really good hand now. You've just basically got tons of stuff. And then the hand on your right bids 2 clubs, both majors. Now you're vulnerable, they're not. You didn't really ask how light 2 clubs can be, but you know they've come in over a intermediate no trump, so not really awful, but they are favourable, so you don't know how good this is. But the good thing is it makes your hand look potentially good. If partner's got values outside the majors, I mean partners like to have some heart values here, but if partner's got values outside spades, the king of spades is likely to be on side. So what do you do? How many diamonds are you bidding? Where are you trying to look for 3N, are you trying to look for 6 diamonds or something like that? And again, you might need some methods. You probably want to jump to 3 diamonds to be forcing here. And our opponents, I'm not sure what methods they had over this, but if you just had to pick a contract, what contract would you want to be in? Imagine there's no scientific way to get to the best spot, so what contract will you get to? Well, without methods, it's difficult to potentially look for 3N. If you bid like 2 hearts or 2 spades, what does that show? If you bid 3 hearts or 3 spades, what does that show? Does 3 hearts ask for a heart stop or show a heart stop or something? So you need to have those methods in your arsenal. And so our opponent decided that king of spades is like to be on side if they're missing it, and they're going to get a major suit lead, which is good for them, and partner might have enough stuff that you make 6 diamonds. So they plonked 6 diamonds on the table, which as a
as a bid out the hat goes, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I can understand it. And does it make? Well, let's see the full hand. It does not. It should go 2 off, but I don't think the Queen of Clubs is the correct lead. If you're making a club trick, hopefully partner's got a trick in one of the majors, and you beat it that way. It's unlikely your 2 tricks to beat it are both going to be in clubs when they jump to 6 diamonds like this. It's very clear that they'll have short in one of the majors, if not void, and they'll have the other majors stopped. So what I did, I tried to set a partner spade trick. I led a spade, and they make 11 tricks because they get a diamond away, a club away on the ace of hearts. They actually tried something quite nice. They led a heart off dummy from ace jack 10x, and if Matt doesn't have the 9, he's got a bit of a dilemma whether he flies in or not, and I think he'd get it right. I think he'd play low, but he was able to play the 9. So that was that board. That was the penultimate board, and then we finished by making a thin game. I had a 6 count, and I was able to show me ace queen to 6 in a competitive auction, and Matt was able to race to 4 and king third. So we finished with 2 good boards, I think. So my guess is that we were 24th. My guess is we'll finish a bit higher than that, and our percentage will be probably just shy of 60% after one of the 3 sessions. So we'll be back tomorrow for some more bridge. I'm going to find some of my friends and maybe have a drink with 1 or 2 of them.